Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome. Today we're continuing on this series of pen testing, and today's topic is going to be enumerating SMB and shares. So I'm hoping that you guys have been able to install your lab. As you can see, I have my Kali Linux. I have a Windows XP ready. I have a Linux Mint. Okay, and I have a Windows 10 as well. Oh yeah, and I have my Metasploitable, okay, which is also it's used for my pen testing tools. This is so it can be exploitable because it's weak. There's no updates, there's nothing. So anyways, moving on, we will start with the first tool, and this one is called the RPC client. So let's type it out, RPC client, and let's say this one is used, the RPC client tool. Oh yeah, before I get any further, I have to say that my disclaimer is remember, it's important to obtain permission from the system owner or the system owners before attempting any of the steps that I'm about to show you. So this is for educational purposes only, and if you can do this in a lab, better. If you're doing it on a live environment, you must get permission, legal consent. You can't just do these things nilly-willy, with anybody that you don't care. I mean, you need to have permission. Besides, if you want to become an ethical hacker, you need to do things the right way. Okay, so let's see several options you can use with RPC client. For example, this one right now I'm not going to show you because we're not getting into that right now. So I just want to show you the RPC client. Okay, so the RPC client, and by the way, this is already working. If you have Kali Linux, the RPC client will be working or should be working, unless you guys try Parrot. That's another one that is used for pen testing. I haven't really started using it yet, but maybe you guys can take a look at it. Anyways, the enumerating user accounts. For example, you can type. You can type, let's say, enum dom users, right? And I will give you examples. So I'm just showing you the commands that they can be used to enumerate all the user accounts in a domain. Okay. Also, there's another one called query user. Okay, that's part of one of the commands that can perform various tasks. What I'm showing you right now. Another one also is enum shares. This one can be used to list all the shares on a remote machine, while the other one that I showed you, query user, but I think I didn't show you this one, query shares. Okay, that can be used to retrieve information about a specific share. Okay, that's one. Another one also that you can use is called enum services. Okay, this one can be used to list all the services running on a remote machine. Okay, another one also is called query query service config. Okay, and also you have query service status. Okay, they can be used to retrieve information about a specific service. So if you want to enumerate remote procedure calls, you can use the following command. Okay, it's called enum prives. Okay, this one can be used to list all the privileges available on a remote machine. Also, if you want to list all the RPC available on a remote machine, you can also use this one, enum pro, right? So all these commands that I'm showing you, will be running them, maybe not all of them, but you'll get the idea once I start running them in here, so that way you can see how the syntax it's typed, right? Okay, if you want to access the registry, oops, sorry, right, that will be our reg. Okay, this can be used to interact with the Windows registry on a remote machine. So you'll be allowed to query, add, modify, or delete registry keys and values. So this is a very powerful tool. Also, you can manage the session by typing net logon. Okay, this can be used to retrieve information about user sessions on a remote machine, while the session key can be used to generate session keys that can be used to impersonate a user session. So all this stuff, man. Also, please note that RPC client is a very powerful tool that should be used with caution and only for legitimate purposes. Okay, such as you can test to test the security of your own network, or with the explicit consent of the network owner, you know. So moving on, managing user rights with the RPC. Okay, so that's another one that you can use. LSA enum SID, or LSA dump user. So these commands can be used to enumerate and dump user rights on a remote machine, while the LSA query policy command can be used to retrieve information about the local security policy. Okay, if you want to enumerate trust, all right, then you'll type enum trusts. This can be used to list all the trust relationships for a domain, while the query trust dom info can be used to retrieve information about a specific trusted domain. Let's say if you want to enumerate domain controllers, you know, you will type enum dom controllers. So it's a given. Okay, if you do another one here, query, let's say if you want to query a domain controller, what would you think it would be? Query DC. Okay, that'll give you you should be able to retrieve information about a specific domain controller. Okay, that's so let's say if you want to enumerate group memberships, so enum als groups. Okay, Now that is so you can have a list of all the groups on the remote machine. Let's say if you want to have the information about a specific group, you will type query group, okay, and you will get the specific group including its members. Okay, let's say if you wanted to enumerate, okay, for the hell of it, I want to see the printers. Enum printers, printers. That will give you a list of the printers on the remote machine. Okay, if you want to see the drivers, you want to get information about the specific printer driver, you'll type get driver. Now if you want to interact with the Active Directory, right, the command for that would be ds query domain. This you can query information about Active Directory while using this ds get and ds mod can be used to retrieve and modify objects in Active Directory. Okay, so very powerful commands that I'm giving you here, guys. So use them responsibly. If you want to enumerate a remote endpoint, right, EP mapper, this will interact with the endpoint mapper service on a remote machine. This will allow you to enumerate remote endpoints and their associated UUIDs. User unique identity, I think. I'll have to look it up. If not, look it up and see what it is. Now if you want to enumerate disk information, that would be net share enum all. This will show you the share resources on the remote machine, including disk shares, while using this query disk info can be used to retrieve information about a specific disk. So now another one useful command that can be used to interact with the browser will be browser. Browser. So this will also interact with the browser service on a remote machine, and it will allow you to enumerate domains, workgroups, and servers visible to the browser, as well as retrieve information about the server role of a specific machine. Now if you want to enumerate logs, more specifically event logs, net enum logon, that can be used to enumerate the event logs on a remote machine. Now this next one, query event log, can be used to retrieve specific events from a particular event log. Okay, so if you want to get more details about, let's say, I don't know, any command or something, you can just type man for manual RPC client, hit enter, and here we go. See, options, you have the way that it's supposed to be used, oh, you have examples here. So anyways, I will leave it up to you guys to be able to read and go through all this. See, IP address, I mean, it has a lot of good information that you can use, that I think it is important for you to be able to not just me tell you how to do it, but you have to do it yourself. You have to get the hands on, you know, because if you don't do this and you just, you know, listen to somebody just blah 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 blah, yada 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 about it, and you're not doing a hands-on lab yourself, it's just not gonna be the same. You have got to be able to do it hands-on and say, oh yeah, even if you don't memorize, you don't have to memorize all this stuff. As long as you know that it exists, that you can do it, that's all you need, you know. Oh yeah, I know how to do, you know, there's a tool that I can find out how to do, find information about a log, you know, how to, maybe I can interact with the registry on a remote computer, things like that. So anyways, let me quit here. And you know, that's basically some of the commands that you can use with RPC. I'll show you another one. For example, here, let me just clear that. RPC, let's say that, right? I wanted to do a enumerate maybe accounts, user accounts, right? That's what the -u stands for. The space here, this, just gonna give me something. Let's see, I'm gonna try, let's see the Metasploitable. See what it is, 138. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we get. Now, because I know, see that right there will be one step before I was trying to enumerate it, trying to see if I can guess or brute force the password. You know, this is the one thing that you are going to encounter, you know, because you haven't brute force the password, then that's it, you're not going anywhere. But since I know MSF Metasploitable, I know the oh look, I'm in. See, now I got the prompt, RPC client. Yes. So, and I just wanted to show you that there's different forms that you can use to enumerate users in a Windows machine. So let me just do a I want to see if I can do this here so I can show you. Okay, is this right here? Just bear with me. There we go. See, this is one way. IP address, one machine, enum, domain user. So that will give you access, and it will enumerate the users. So if you want to query information about a specific user account, that's the way that you will type it. IP address, one machine, query, username, right? Enumerate and share folders on a remote Windows machine. And this is the way that you will enumerate them. Okay, so make a note. All right, moving on. If you wanted to query information about a specific share folder, let me see, I'm gonna share that with you. Okay, let's say, I hope you guys took a note of that, or you can pause the video. Okay, query information about a specific shared folder. So this is the way you would type it, right? Let's say you already did a brute force of that system and you know the administrator and the password, the IP address of that remote machine, and the share name. if you already know the share name. And now we're going to do a lab on how you can find out the share names. Okay, in just a minute. If you want to enumerate services running on a remote Windows machine, see, this is the way that you're going to do it. Enum services, things that I was telling you about. If you want to query information about a specific service, there you go. Da-da-da. And query service config. I already showed you that. So that's how you would do it on a machine. So now that we did the RPC client, now we have a connection to my meta exploitable, right? So let's see if I can query. Let me see. I don't know if that's gonna query the users. I think. Oops. No, I think I made a. I'm gonna show you my results that I found when I was doing the. See, I want to find the domain users. See, what I did is I already kept my documentation up to date. So let's say SMB. I think it's this one. No, this one, I think. Okay, SMB client. SMB client. Okay, so I think I found the problem. I don't know why it wasn't working when I was doing that, but I just tested it again, and that's supposed to do that, right? It's gonna ask me for the password. MSF admin. Okay, so now when I type query dom info, oops, I'm supposed to get information. There you go. See, I'm getting the name of the domain, the server, metasploitable, total users 35. See, so now we're getting somewhere. Now, if let's say if I want to enumerate enum dom users. Oops, what did I do? Oh, enum dom users, fat fingers. There we go. See, now we get the users root. Wow, look at that. I have proxy, I have nobody, I have games, Tomcat 55. Now look at that. Good information, right? So let's see here. Let's say I want to find the share names. Net share enum. And here we go. Look at that. Net name temp. Remark. No path. Temp password. I don't know. Well, there is a password. We already know that. Net name password. Okay. So now, as you can see, that's the way that you will use it. Okay. So practice. All the information that I gave you, and if you go the man RPC client, you'll see more details and more examples, and you can always also look it up on Google and see what else you can find. But that's the way for you guys to get hands-on. You need to have the lab ready. Okay, so in order for you to get out of that, right here, just go quit, and let me do a clear. All right, so the next one, the next tool is called Enum for Linux. So Enum, for Linux. Okay. So let's see. I want to test my metasploitable, which is 138. Okay, so we're good. So let's see what happens if I do that. Wow, look at that. Some good information coming through. Okay. Password policy information. Oh wow, keep going. Okay. I'm gonna put a pause and come back. Okay, so it went through. It didn't take that long, but just in case, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't taking your time. So this is one of the enumerating tools, right? So I did a enum for my Metasploitable machine, and look, I found some good information. I know that the usernames, you gotta take this by with a grain of salt, because it could not be accurate. Because I know the administrator guess and all this does not exist in Metasploitable. Could be in Windows. If we try it in Windows, we're gonna try it and see what happens in Windows 10. But see now, all the information that we're getting, you know, is that Metasploitable. At least it knows, right? That it is a Metasploitable. Master browser. Okay, so that MAC address, no address, no MAC address. Okay. Let's see, domain name, workgroup, workstation, server, Samba 3. Well, it's giving us the platform. 500, 4.9. And then we have more good stuff. See, these are the accounts. Nice. All the accounts. See, red. Okay. Printer drivers. Okay. Temp share names. Right. Look, we already saw those, but it gave us. We found them anyways into this scan, which is good. Okay. Print. Okay. Well, see, that it found this one. The temp is open. It wasn't denied. So guys, all this information that you're finding, it is so essential, right? That you guys have to document. See what I did? I documented everything right there. I made sure that all the information that I'm finding, I am documenting it, because you will need it. If you have to make a report, you will need it. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. Okay, let's see if I can find something about Windows 10. Oh, great, it crashed. All right, let's see if I can just restart this one. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to. All right, let's do it on Windows XP S132. Let's see if I can see what happens. I have no idea what might happen. There we go. See, it's going through. Oh, that was quicker than before. Let's see if we have anything juicy on this Windows. Okay, the same thing. See that? I don't know. So the known users. Okay, so looking up 192, domain service group, MAC address. Oh, found the MAC address on this one. Let's see what else. Could not initialize server service. Okay. Protocol SMB failed request called. Okay, protocol failed. Client protocol 445 request. An object has not been granted. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, we didn't find that much, but at least we can document that if you have a computer that you must pen test, there you go. That's how you should do it. So I was trying to do my Windows 10, but it looks like it's up. Let me see if I can do a test on it. And let's see. If all I want is the IP address, which I keep forgetting. I mean, I should know it by heart by now, but I just don't. Let's see. IP config. Let's see what it finds. So 136. So let's do the same thing here. Let me clear. 136. That's what I said, right? Yes. Huh? Oh, wow. Not much. 136. Wow. Okay, that. Okay, I'm surprised. Okay, so that would be another one of the tools that you can use, okay, when you're doing your pen testing. So you're enumerating SMB and shares, okay? That's another tool. Now another one that I have here that could be useful, okay, when it comes to enumerating. This one is called assembly. I can't even speak today. SMB client. Okay. For example, let's see. I have the 136. Yes, the 136. So we're gonna do it this way, and I'll type SMB client -L, and this is so you can. The reason we're typing this is because it has to look, how can I put it, the path, you know, it has to look deep inside the sub path, or the child item of the parents. So let's try it out and see what happens. I think I don't need the space. Let me see. Oops, okay, it's asking me for the password, which at this point we should have been just brute forcing it. But look at that, share name, type, and comment. So you have admin, C, IPC, so remote admin. To fail. Let's see if I do. What I thought. I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh, okay, no, that did not work. So let's see, SMB client. So let's say if after I succeeded with that, let's say if that one succeeded. And obviously I should have access to the password. You can use tools or SMB map to enumerate the available shares. That's what we have right there. Users, groups, and other information. So let's see if I can say, okay, so I was trying to see if we had any man pages for SMB client, and we do. So once you have identified potential vulnerabilities in the system, you can attempt to exploit them using tools like, for example, after you see that, you can use Metasploit. That's another tool that we're going to look into coming up in a few videos also, because you need to know how to use Metasploit, or at least I'm going to show you a few things, right? Or if not, another custom exploits that you have built yourself. You can do, exploitation, privilege, escalation, persistence. So when you gain access to the system, your next step would be to escalate your privileges to gain higher level access. Okay, so you can use tools like PowerUp or WinPeas or WinPeas to identify potential privilege escalation vectors. Okay, that also I'm gonna bring it up on coming on further down the line videos to show you. Persistence. After gaining access and escalating privileges, you may want to establish persistence on the systems to maintain access even after the system reboots. So that's important. You can use techniques like creating a backdoor using a backdoor user or modifying system settings. Next, that will be data exfiltration. So if your objective is to extract sensitive data from the system, you can use tools like rsync or SCP to transfer files from target systems to your own machine. And last but not least, covering tracks. That's finally, it is important to cover your tracks to avoid being detected. That can be achieved by removing any logs or traces of your activity on the system. So I leave you guys with the SMB client man pages so you can take a look at what else you can do. Port to see all the different options that you can do when you're doing the SMB client also as well. And it gives you a thorough explanation of what the options do. And oh yeah, and you have examples. So this, it's a fountain of wealth that you can use. So I'm hoping that this can help you further in your knowledge on continuing your penetration testing career. So thank you for your time, guys. I'll see you in the next one.